Hey, how is it going? How is it going? We are here. We are here. We are here for our tea and truth with Karen Booth. And let me get my instructions put up. You got water. All right. All right. It is. Okay, we got a couple more minutes to wait. I got a real cup today. So I have my usual. I almost put some elderberry in there, but I have my usual, which is mint, lemon, and peach. How are y'all doing, forgiveness fam? My drive time live forgiveness fam. So let me put that up there so the people will know. And welcome, 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 welcome. You are welcome once. Okay. Get my pages in order. Okay. 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 Hey, hey, hey. I see we got three people in. Tell me where you are and what's in your cup. Whoo, we y'all. I was driving today and my truck ran hot. And this was the day that having a 1971 Camaro in college and all of the tips and repair work and things that I learned then came in handy. Because, baby, the handle went the wrong way. I pulled over. I sat there for about 10 minutes. Then I pulled on round to the exit ramp and pulled into the JC Penney parking lot. And sat in that parking lot for a few minutes. And I said, let me go on in this store and see what they got. And so now I have to plan a trip back to JC Penney's because I didn't get anything. But why do they have a massive clearance sale? Like more than 50% off of some things. And I saw some things. But I have some other things that I need to take care of. It is mine. It is mine. Baby, and you know, I want me another Buick Enclave. And baby, and I want the smoky metallic amethyst. It's a new color that they have. And that's the one I want. Oh, hi, yeah, yeah. Anyway, Anyway, so then I came back out, and there was water in the truck, water in in a thing in the truck, and I popped the hood, popped the thing off the radiator, put it in there, started it up, and came on home and sat myself down. I said, "Well, I must need to be at home," and I have been productive at home. I got some few more things to do, but anyway, we thank God that there was water in the truck. We thank God that we made it home, and we thank God that home is heated and lit, and everything is well. And so I've just been doing laundry and getting my room together because that um, now that my soul is in some better order, I need some better order around me. But anyway, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is why I come on here every day to help y'all get y'all. Yes, that's why I come on here every day to help y'all get y'all souls in order because it puts you in a different place to be able to do some different kind of things, right? And so, as long as I was in disarray and out of order in here, in my soul, in my mind, in my will, in my emotions, my intellect, and my imagination, then everything not in a place that it has, because everything in its place, everything has a place, everything in its place, right? And everything has a place. Not everything was in its place, and for a while that was okay with me, and now it's not. So now, so that's where I strive to help people get to, is to be in the right place in their soul, so that they can be in the right place in their life and make the right decisions. And so today we're going through February is how forgiveness impacts the soul month. And it is Black History Month, and it is Super Bowl week, and all the things. So, so today we're talking about how the mind uses replay as protection. Now, yesterday we talked about how your soul gets noisy, and how at night when you're still and everything has, the lights are out and ain't nobody really moving around, or when you're in the house, you're in your place where you live and nobody's there but you. And so it's real still and it's real quiet. And then that's when you start hearing all the things that your soul is saying. And I don't mean that you have auditory hallucinations. That is not what I mean. I mean that if there is an unresolved issue that requires some forgiveness, then your mind, by nature, by divine design, goes back to that thing and says, how could I have fixed this? How could I have worked through this? What could I have said? What could I have done? And so when your soul is already braced up, like we talked about Monday, when you're already braced up because you haven't forgiven whatever it was that happened, right? Then your soul gets noisy, and you start having the internal conversations about what could have happened. Then you're dealing with your mind and your emotions, right? Why does Hey Robin? Why does the mind keep doing that? Why do you keep having why are you sitting here minding your own self business, and the incident, we're just gonna call it the incident. The incident comes up. Now you sitting there watching, you sitting there minding your own business. You working on something or just having a quiet time and you drinking some tea. You're not mad, you're not angry, you're not anything but just sitting there trying to relax and enjoy a peaceful moment. And then the incident pops up. Well, why? Well, I'm glad you asked. The mind replays because it's trying to keep you safe. The mind seeks closure. The mind wants it to be resolved. And sometimes, not sometimes, when you are in a state of unforgiveness, when you haven't forgiven the incident, then the situation is not resolved. And so your mind just keeps looking, just keeps running around, hamster wheel, trying to find a resolution to the problem. Now, some of the people that are on here already know about this. It's not a phenomenon. This thing. I didn't want to say thing. This thing in your mind called the thinking feeling cycle. Right? The thinking feeling cycle just simply says you think a thought, it produces a chemical. The chemical produces a feeling. Then the feeling that you feel impacts your behavior, whatever that behavior is. Right? And so if you have the thought, the thought produces the chemical produces the feeling of I want it to be finished. I want it to be taken care of. I want it to be over. And it's not over. And so there's no resolution for you to land in. And so it just goes back. It goes back up to the thought. Because uh it's still in there. It's still in there unresolved. It's still in there. It's like the cliffhanger at the end of the season. Well, okay, so back in the 80s, I'm dating myself. Well, no. So back if you're watching a show that has ongoing plots, something like Power or something like Scandal, or How to Get Away with Murder, and they got you watching, and they got you watching, and then you get to the end, and you think you're gonna get to the resolution, and they say no, come back next season. And so you sitting there, so now you always looking. You always looking. When is it coming back? When is it coming back? When I gotta watch it? When I gotta watch it? Because I gotta have it finished. Gotta have finish. I have to have it resolved. I have to know the answer. Because your mind and also your mind and your intellect, they want to answer. They want to have meaning. They want something. Hey Barb, how are you? They want something that you are not giving them because you have not chosen forgiveness. Because forgiveness gives you a release. Forgiveness gives you a release. When you say, "Mm, what is our definition?" It is to choose. I'm so happy to see you, Barbara. It gives you the authority and the power to choose to say, I am not going to let my feelings stay hung in this mess. That's the short definition. I'm going to choose not to let my feelings be and my sensibilities be impacted and changed and run amok because I still hold hostility, anger, um, disdain for the person, people, group, agency, institution that hurt me. Right? And so when you choose that, you also choose release, which says, I ain't gotta have that conversation with them anymore. I don't have to go and cuss them out. I don't have to go and, bump them in the face. I don't have to go and, take an ice pick to their tires. I don't have to do all that. Baby, these people do not know about who shot JR. You have to go to Power. You have to go to Power to see who killed the girl. That's who that yeah. And so, cause like I was like, oh yeah, her brother need. If you make it hard, Bar, because why is it so hard? Now, let me let me address that. Sometimes making that choice is hard because of the severity of what the person or people or place did to you. Sometimes it is because we have this notion in our head that they don't deserve forgiveness, that I need to do something to them. I need to make them suffer. I want to see them suffer. I want them to be real, real sorry for what they did. Baby, the people is not going to be sorry. Just be just just accept. You ain't gotta be okay with it. Just accept. People probably not gonna be sorry. And if they do get that good cussing, you will feel good temporarily. But your feelings, but your feelings will still be hurt because you still haven't chosen forgiveness. You have chosen I'm gonna cuss you out instead of instead of forgiveness. It's like that scene. Y'all remember that scene out of the Tyler Perry movie. The Tyler Perry movie where the girl threw the man in the bathtub and he was blowing them bubbles. And uh Medea had her in the closet with with the chainsaw. And the girl said, "But Medea, this not gonna solve nothing." And Medea said, "I know it's not, but it's gonna make you feel better." And so they did have a good time chopping all that man's stuff up, cutting his clothes and his suit in half and all that. And she still was hurt. She still was hurt. I can't think of the name of that movie. But everybody knows which one I'm talking about. And so your thinking feeling cycle keeps looping. Like it's not anything. You're going to have the thinking feeling diary of a mad black woman. Yes, it was. The thinking feeling cycle is going to be there regardless because it's just a part of your nature. It's just a part of being a human with a brain. Is that when you have a thought and then go to jail, when you have a thought, the brain is going to automatically produce a chemical. The chemical is going to always produce a feeling. And so you have to, as the Bible says, take captive every thought so that your feelings will not influence your behavior in the wrong way. And sometimes that takes some time. So what does your mind keep returning to? What does your mind keep what feels unresolved in your mind? What keeps your soul noisy at night? What keeps you in that? And I'm not trying to diagnose anything, but I am just saying that in your soul will take you back to the place of injury until the injury is resolved somehow. And the resolution in this instance is to forgive what happened. When you forgive, it says, "Oh, I can rest." It says, "Oh, we're safe." Why? I'm glad you asked. Because when you forgive, you're putting your situation in the trusted hands of God. You're putting your situation in God's hands so where He can say, "Okay, son, okay, daughter, I'm now going to take you through whatever process I need to take you through so that your feelings can heal from the hurt." So you'll likely always remember what happened. Now some stuff you may not. Me and my mom had a conversation while we were there, and she was talking about how mad she was at me one time for something I did. And I said, "I remember the night that you told me to sit up and wait on my daddy so he could come home from his poker game and give me a whooping." I remember that. Neither one of us could remember what I had done. So sometimes you remember the stuff, and sometimes you don't. It just depends on, was it important enough to remember? Like somebody did something to you and you were like, "I remember I was hot as fish grease. I can't remember what it was." So sometimes, you don't you may or may not remember, but just because you remember doesn't mean you haven't forgiven. You remember because your mind works. So once you release, then you get the relief that your soul has been looking for because your system says, "Phew, okay, we can rest now." We can cut off the alarm system. We can cut off, looking for something to fix it, because your brain, your whole soul was designed to protect you and keep you safe. Now, safety keep I'm not gonna go there. I'm not gonna go there. Your your nervous system and your mind is designed to keep you safe. Sometimes safety is familiar with, a familiar place. And so once you get to that familiar, safe place, then, the soul quiets down. The soul quiets down. So forgiveness interrupts the cycle before all your chemicals take over, right? So it your brain is still going to produce a chemical when you have a thought. The chemical is still going to produce a feeling. And there will be behaviors behind the feelings, right? So when that message lands, the chemicals settle, the feeling soften. When the feeling softens, the volume in your soul lowers. You can go to Isaiah 26:3. You will keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed and steadfast because they trust in you. Peace is not the absence of thought, it is the presence of trust. So we're not going to stop the thoughts. We're just going to have peace associated with the thoughts rather than panic. Okay? All right. That's it. That's it. Y'all, I hope y'all have a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday. And I hope I'm helping you figure out ways to clear out the unforgiveness in your soul so that you can get good rest. All right. And I will see y'all tomorrow. Same bad time, same bad channel. I'm glad I was able to help you, Barb. Yay. Y'all have a good evening, and I will see you. I miss you too. I miss you too. Send me a message for when the play is. I know y'all having a play. I might show up. All right. Love y'all. Replay this when you get a chance. All right. Bye.